Well, good morning to everyone out there. Piptown has some new community managers and they haven't really told us anything yet. How unexciting is that? To all of my viewers out there in the United States, I hope that regardless of who you voted for, you are hanging in there as we come to the conclusion of this particular election cycle, or rather the conclusion, what's probably going to end up being the conclusion to the beginning of this election cycle. Let's be honest, it's probably going to last quite a long time. But we are going to keep it in the Lego Piptown world today, so that we can try and stay happy and positive and all that kind of jazz. So on that note, let me go ahead and say hello to those of you who are in here. Jester, Reggie, GKM, Mike, Kate, Theo, who else has said hello? Cowabunga, hello. Extreme Gamer, hello. How are all of you? Hold on one second. Just need to do a little bit to help mitigate some of the echo in here. That's a little bit better. Great. So, lots of questions you guys have thrown out, and I will tell you right off the bat that I unfortunately have very few answers. The content creator channel is all abuzz right now with us asking questions, and since the announcement of the new community managers, the content creator channel has seen 0 responses from the new community managers. We do not know the status of the content creator program. We do not know the status of the game at large, or raids, or intellectual IP. What I can tell you right now is what the content creators have been discussing amongst ourselves, the questions that we have, and the things that we hope to see. So let's make sure that I go through and get your questions right off the bat. Mike, right at the top, asking thoughts on the new team. Is the game dead? That is obviously the biggest question that anybody has been asking so far. The honest answer is we don't actually know the reason for this switch. A lot of people have been commenting that the team, at least the community management team, has gotten smaller than it was before. And obviously people look at a team getting smaller as the exact opposite of growth, because it is, categorically speaking, the exact opposite of growth when things shrink. But what does this mean for the game at large? And there's a number of things that I will remind everybody. 1, the initial development of the game actually requires a lot more people to do work than to maintain a game. Now, the problem with that is maintenance is also not growth. Maintenance is just stagnation. So, it's possible that the team has gotten smaller because they have gotten past the setup process and have let people go who were just part of the setup process, who don't need to be there for the maintenance process. Is that a good thing? Probably not, because those people could transition from the setup process to the growth process, and now they're all gone. But we don't actually know what the growth process is. From the perspective of Lego Legacy, and to be clear, these are all my opinions. We know that raids have been on the calendar for a long time but have gotten pushed back. We know that more intellectual property is on the horizon. It's somehow water themed, whatever. But we don't know exactly when it's coming out. We know that they have been regularly making changes to their established content. They have released, or they have announced, I should say, some changes to the Brick Pace events that are coming out. They have constantly been updating, the Brickspedition is going to be receiving new boards. They have constantly been making changes to the Brick Pace events. They've tried introducing time quests. So there's this new Ghost event that they just started. So we do know that there are things coming to the game. The big content update that we're all waiting for is raids, obviously. And we do not know the status of those raids of that particular project. And that's a problem for a lot of us, because we really do want to see the game growing. Sorry, I'm setting some things out on my desk here. That's why I keep looking down. We do all want to see the game continuing to grow. Obviously, there was a big maintenance yesterday during the day. We're not exactly sure what that was for, or at least I'm not exactly sure what that was for. But the fact that they're still running maintenance on the game, the fact that they are still hiring new people, even if it's fewer people, is a good thing. They didn't get rid of Abo and WAF and then replace them with nobody. Keep that in mind. They did get a new community management team. Now, that community management team chose to reach out via Facebook and then say, okay, we're going to have some time for people to post questions in a Discord channel. And then we are going to take those questions and answer them on Facebook and then give everybody a link to it. So I think that there's definitely going to be a growth process here and some time spent trying to convince the community managers that they really need to communicate on Discord as well. Communicating on Facebook, don't get me wrong, is good, and Facebook actually reaches a lot more people than Discord does. However, Discord has what I would argue to be your more fervent fans, the people who want to have an active communication or an active text-based communication are all on Discord. Facebook is an excellent place to make announcements. It's a really excellent place for them to connect with us, but it's a really poor place for us to connect with them. And it's a really poor place for us to connect with each other about the game. Because if we're all just posting in the Facebook feed, one, things get lost. Two, we don't have any control over their Facebook feed. And three, it's a slower process in general, with fewer active plugins that we want to use. And honestly, the Discord chat is just better. So what I've encouraged the rest of the content creators to do is to reach out to the new community managers and encourage them to use some of the tools we've already created. For example, the announcements channel in the Discord server. That would be a big one. The actual content creator channel to talk to the content creators. Now this begs the next question, what's the status of the content creator program? And the answer is we don't know. To date, or to this minute rather, the new community managers have not posted anything in the content creator channel. They have not said hello. They have not said there's any particular idea for how things are going to be running now, for any changes coming up. Nothing. They haven't changed anything. They haven't shut down the channel. They haven't commented on the channel. We've got no news there. And in this case, no news feels like bad news. And it's just kind of hard to get away from that, if I'm being completely honest. But the game is still here, the game is still running, and we do have an event calendar that takes us through the end of the rest of this month. So, is the game dead? From an immediate standpoint, I would say no, though your concerns are legitimate. Let's move on, see what everybody else is saying. Greetings, hello, 3 cheers for no work, yes. How's Matt today? I am pretty good. Better than I was yesterday, I will tell you. I am, I'm a pretty opinionated guy. In the past, I have not been particularly political, like in my life. And I live in New York, which with a pretty homogenous political population, if that makes sense. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you whether or not I think Republicans or Democrats are better, or whether or not conservatives or liberals are better. That's not the purpose of this stream. I think it's pretty obvious where I fall on the spectrum, and that's where I fall on the spectrum. But because of the fact that I am getting, as I grow up and become older, much more attached to the political spectrum of the day, these things do affect me more than they used to. So yesterday was a pretty harrowing day. And I think that that's probably true for most Americans. I don't think it matters which side of the aisle you're on. Uncertainty always makes us feel uncomfortable. And it doesn't matter if it's uncertainty that things are going to go your way or uncertainty that things are going to not go your way. Uncertainty makes us feel uncomfortable. And I think if there's anything that we can sort of share in during this election process, it's that regardless of which side of the aisle you're on, we both feel uncertain and we both feel uncomfortable. So yesterday was a long day, filled with lots of news reports, lots of reading what this group of people has to say, what that group of people has to say. The maintenance in the morning obviously kept me from streaming. That was probably a good thing in my situation, because you guys are used to coming and seeing like this happy-go-lucky dude who's always like singing and making jokes. And yesterday I was not that guy. Well, not in the morning at least. Towards the evening, things start to sort of mellow out, you know? There's still a chance that things are not going to go your way. There's still a chance that things are uncertain. But you just, after the initial burst of something happening that makes you stop and think, and you get all frazzled and worried, you can still be a little bit frazzled and worried, but you've had the day to sort of mellow out and deal with it. So it was a long day. How am I doing? That ended up being a longer answer than I'm sure you were looking for. Mike says that you and Kate are really concerned they have a smaller team now. If the bigger team couldn't get content out, how is the smaller one going to cope? Mike, that's actually a big question that we have for these new community managers. And I think that we have to do our best to let them know that we just want to know where we stand as players of the game. And we do want to know if we're putting money and time and energy into a sinking ship. And I can understand why they wouldn't want to give us that information if the ship is in fact sinking. And I can understand that it would be within their best interest if the ship was sailing afloat at full speed ahead, that they would want to tell us that. And so the fact that they haven't told us that is disconcerting. However, I would urge everybody to exhibit a little bit of patience here with this new community management team. By virtue of the fact that they just launched into Facebook instead of Discord, we know that they are different. Like, we can tell that they are different, and we know that they are going to be doing things differently. However, some of the questions that people asked were on exactly this topic, which they said they will announce tomorrow. They said November 6th is when they are going to release the answers to all of these questions. So be on the lookout for those answers then. My hope is that they will address the differing size of the team, what that means, perhaps even if it's a little bit about why the team has changed size, why it has shrunk, and what that means for the future development of the game. Now, because the bigger team couldn't get content out, there's also the chance that the smaller team is actually just a more focused team. Right? So consider this, for example. The game is made, LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed is made by Gameloft. Gameloft is a very, very big company. So it's entirely possible that they shed some extra weight from the people who are maybe developers on multiple games, including LEGO Legacy. It's entirely possible that the part of the reason why the raids have been pushed back is because some of Gameloft's properties that are making perhaps more money or getting more attention than LEGO Legacy are using some of the same developers who have to prioritize that other work. So, there is a world in which a smaller LEGO Legacy team is actually a good thing as long as that smaller team is dedicated and focused to this game specifically. Under that case, then a smaller team might actually be able to get more stuff done faster because they have fewer things to work on. They have fewer checks and balances in the pipeline before getting stuff out, which means that they might be able to make progress at a faster rate. For the time being, until I hear otherwise, I'm gonna go with that. I don't know if it's the correct answer, but it's the answer that makes me feel better. So I have no evidence to support one way or another that that's the case, but I'm gonna go with it because it makes me happier to think about. Mike says personal thoughts are that raids and IP other content is already finished, and the new dev team is finishing it up to new standards. Mike, I hope that you're right. Hello, Twitch, Theosaurus says. Also expressing some concern. And I wish I could mitigate some of that concern, but as you've heard me saying, your concern is legit right now. I still hope raids will be released at some point, but I agree for the new IP content, it's probably a good thing. I honestly wish they would just completely scrap the new IP content and put full steam ahead into the raids, but I've said that before. I'm really worried no more game equals no more fancy streams. Mike, so the good thing about the good thing about my routine right now is that I have carved out this time 4 days a week to be streaming, and I do have some ideas for how the stream can expand. Extreme Gamer asked me about it the other day, and I mentioned some other shows, so to speak, that I have an interest in creating. And because I have a regular job and a fiance that I like to spend time with, it's been very, very hard for me to expand the stream. The bad thing, if Lego Legacy were to shut down, is, yeah, I would stop doing Lego Legacy streams. But I would continue to stream. I would just stream something else. And I do have some ideas. My hope is that I can keep doing this and add to those ideas. But don't worry, Fancy would still be around to stream. I would just be finding something else to stream instead. Futurama Worlds of Tomorrow got completely canned when Hogwarts Mystery gained traction, and they never updated it again. That's the only frame of reference for the scenario. Yeah, it's a scary one. You didn't tell me this would be a gun show as well. Theo, you talking about because I'm wearing a sleeveless shirt? It honestly, I'm gonna be going to the gym after the stream, and this was the workout shirt that was on the top of the pile. I'm that guy. I don't really pick outfits unless I'm like going to a fancy occasion. For me, it's basically whatever's on the top of the pile. Some days I have to stop myself because I'll realize like I'm wearing like khaki pants, and the shirt that's on the top of the pile is like a khaki colored shirt. And then I go outside and see myself in the mirror, and I'm like, all right, I should put a little bit more thought into it than this, because a khaki outfit is, no one likes a full khaki outfit unless you're in the safari. Kelsey's. Yay! Thank you for the follow, Quack Moose. Kelsey is currently flexing. Like, Kelsey just comes in, she goes, gun show? And she just flexed her muscles. I think she wants me to flex for you guys, but this is a Lego game, and it's supposed to be family friendly. I don't want to scare anybody with the massive boulders in my arms. GKM bringing out the sleeveless again, and it's actually the same sleeveless shirt too. I actually have two of these sleeveless workout tanks, and one is Goku's gi, and the other one is the Saiyan armor that Vegeta wears. Other than that, all of the sleeve shirts that I wear, you guys see this when you watch the stream, but they're all superhero shirts that I wear to the gym. That's right, I'm the guy who wears superhero shirts to the gym because I'm partially a tool, right? It's important that we all acknowledge the tool within all of us. At least mine is out in the open and you can see it when it shows up. GKM, Matt, what size are your biceps? A medium? Large? I don't know. I don't know how you size biceps. If you're talking about like measurements, I don't measure them. I'm not that big of a tool. Didn't they just have a Q&A? Sorry, my nose is crazy itchy today. Jester asks, didn't they just have a Q&A and answers will be posted tomorrow? Yes, Jester. They will be posted apparently on Facebook, and they're going to give us a link to that. So you can bet that there will probably be, despite the fact that I won't have a stream tomorrow, I'll probably end up making a video where I go over the answers to those questions and give my thoughts and feelings on what that could mean for the future of the game. I'm thinking that with the new team, we might get raids this month or latest next month. Jester, don't hold your breath for that, honestly. It's possible that this new team might rev up and start going faster, but remember there's that acceleration process, right? The new team has to have the time to actually learn what the old team was doing, pick up where they left off, and get that motor going, right? So it's not going to be like whatever speed the old team stopped at. Jeez, my nose is crazy itchy. What's going on, nose? Weirdness. Okay, so what was I saying? Right, so the old team left after moving at a certain speed. The new team coming in is gonna have to start from speed 0 and really figure it all out. So just bear that in mind when you're setting expectations for what's coming out in the future. GKM, gonna make a video about the Q&A. Yes, good. Do I think they will stop making updates and content for the game? Extreme. As long as the game is turning a profit, no. And as long as they feel like the game can increase its revenue, they will continue to make content for it. That's basically how business works. And if they think that that revenue stream can increase over time, they will continue to make content for it. If they feel like the game has tapped itself out, or they have too many other things to focus in that are more lucrative, then they will stop making content for the game. But I don't think it has anything to do with like Lego in particular or any of that kind of jazz. It'll be a pure business decision. That's just all there is to it. Small request for today from Reggie. Also, hi Reggie, how are you doing? It's my birthday, so if you could not knock me down in arena rank today, that would be great. I'm Royal Gondola Bunny. Okay, Reggie, I'll try to avoid Royal Gondola Bunny. Also, just note, you're currently 69 in the arena. Am I really? Okay, I am in fact. Okay, let's see. Where are you? You are Royal Gondola Bunny. Royal Gondola Bunny. What number are you right now, dude? Royal Gondola Bunny. Royal Gondola Bunny. Royal Gondola Bunny. Where are you, sir? Aha! Number 39. Oh, Royal Gondola Bunny. You do have a team that is pretty easy to beat. Not gonna lie. But yes, for you, sir, I will avoid attacking you today in the arena. Anybody else buffering? Ooh, I hope not. Theo, you are welcome. Level head is something that I specialize in once I've had a chance to cool off and think about stuff. But I can get pretty into stuff pretty quick. It can get heated with me. That's for sure. I am very, very good at trying to specify where my emotions, if they are rage and anger, are directed. I am actually pretty good at directing them in. I am pretty good at focusing my emotions in the right direction. There we go. So, for example, a lot of people, you know, like they get mad and all of a sudden everyone is their enemy and everybody is terrible. And if they're mad about something that happened outside, all of a sudden they start yelling at you for something unrelated to that. I am very, very good about compartmentalizing my frustrations and pointing them in the right direction. That is true. However, I do definitely need a moment when I get frustrated to process those in order to be able to compartmentalize them in that way. So with things like the new content management, the new community managers, it was very, very frustrating that they just immediately took to Facebook and have not posted anything on Discord and all that kind of stuff. But then you stop and you think about it and you go, okay, while this does definitely affect me, it's not about me. And nobody is doing anything to hurt me. And I believe everybody knows that, right? And all the content creators know that. All of the people who are out there playing the game, we all know that. That adding people to the team is something that they do because they want to take care of the people who play the game. Otherwise, they wouldn't have added those people at all. So while I see it as a setback in terms of the speed of the game's development, probably, I see it as a forward move toward actually picking that back up in a responsible manner. And that's how I'm going to choose to think about it until I actually have evidence to the contrary. Will the new community managers listen to me when I'm begging for content? Chester, we have no idea, man, but I hope so. Chester, you are the most beloved meme of the community. Better get an arena battle started. The morning build has turned into the morning chat. It's very true, Mike. All right. Mike says, let's get in here and play the game. Need more gameplay for the younger audience. Am I worried about the game's lifespan? Not really. I mean, the game will be here forever. It just might slow down a little bit. And honestly, if it stops growing, then that's kind of, then that's total stagnation and people are gonna fall off the wayside. Just like the Futurama game that was mentioned before. So my hope is that that doesn't happen, obviously. I really, really love the game, putting together new teams and all that. Oh, this would have been a perfect opportunity to showcase my ice ninjas. But I didn't. All right, well, that's okay. So instead, we come into this first arena battle. We are going to just completely punish the enemy Redbeard because he's sitting there asking to be punished, to be quite frank. Bye-bye, Redbeard. And now that Redbeard is gone, we just win. Like, that's it. That's all that's left. They take out my Cook Bart right at the beginning. Wow, look at that focus fire going down. I am going to put some protection on my Master Wu. Want to keep him nice and healthy. Then let's see if we can take out Argenta. Argenta is down. They take out my Argenta. Look at this. Their Highwayman. Super focus fire. The AI has definitely been improved for the vast majority of the characters in the game. Unfortunately, now this means that their Highwayman is out of stealth for an entire turn. We come in here with Peglegs Walk the Plank, and he is down. Plus, we still have our taunt removal, which we're going to use right now, which means we can go right back to Cook Bart, taking him down, and then auto battle out the rest of the battle. The irony is it actually looks like this battle got pretty close. They actually managed to kill 2 of my characters, despite the fact that I was doing pretty much everything right. The problem is we had no dodges from their team, and we also had no dodges from my team, but not enough to actually make us ever feel like we were actually in danger of losing the battle. Still, it is frightening when your characters start getting one-shotted by the Highwayman. That is legit fills me with fear. Now, I have started spending extra gems to get extra attempts at Commander Cold, and I'm about to show you why. I'm pretty excited about it, actually. This elite champion, we are almost at the Ice Station Odyssey for 5 stars. I need to win 2 more arena battles with the Space Hero in the next 30 minutes in order to complete this one. So I'm going to be very carefully monitoring this one in order to see if I can do that. Events, I came in today and I've already got the Peglegs treasure events just in case I did too much talking and missed it, which you guys know I am, for a thing for which I do have a propensity. So, okay. Let's come into the shop. Let's get all of our purchases made. Mike, I wish that were true. Rumors are afoot that the new devs are going to remove the dodge mechanic because someone called Matt keeps badgering them about it. Mike, I wish that were true. It's a good joke, but unfortunately it's not April 1st, so ba-bam. Extreme asks, will the new managers take dodge mechanic out of the game? I doubt it. I sincerely doubt it. It's baked into the game so hardcore that at this point, getting it out of the game and what you would replace it with would require a lot of process. I would be more than willing to actually do that process on their behalf and figure out where we can add in, say, the dodgy buff instead of dodge chance, because I think the dodgy buff is actually a really good buff. And the reason for that, as I've mentioned before on the stream, is I think being able to guarantee a dodge is actually a pretty cool mechanic on offense and on defense. But because of the way that you get turns in the game and because of the importance of every turn, the chance of missing is actually a very, very big problem. The guaranteed miss you can count on. And you can do a basic attack instead and actually get rid of that dodgy buff. But it doesn't actually, it doesn't just absolutely destroy the rest of the game mechanics for you. For example, when Peglegs Walk the Plank gets dodged, not only did you waste your entire turn, but then you also lost that ultimate entirely. It's craziness. GKM, I'm literally losing matches because of it. It's so bad. Yeah, dude, me too. And this is where I get at it. It's like the biggest problem with the dodge mechanic is the number of turns that you take in a given game. Because the dodge mechanic as it stands now can cause you to miss upwards of 30 to 40% of your attacks, especially if you are playing against a team that focuses on using the dodge mechanic as a means for survival. And that would be one thing if you were actually getting an attack like every second, right? So in these big MMO games or like strategy RPG games where you're pushing a button every half second and you have cooldowns on abilities that might get dodged, but they're constantly just revolving around and you're constantly just pushing buttons anyway. It's a much smaller thing because each individual button press is less important. But in this game, every single button press is important. And so to arbitrarily just take one away is incredibly punishing. More so than I think any other mechanic in the game. Okay, we got 0 Commander Cold tiles I noticed from our first Commander Cold node. But I really want to upgrade the speed at which I'm farming this dude, which is why I am spending extra energy to get extra attempts at him. And I will show you this in a second in accordance with the rest of the team that you guys may have seen a glimpse of. I'm going to come back into it in just a second after we go through all of the monolith energy that we have, grab our extra energy because I think I actually have some to keep going. Okay, so Cactus Girl got all of hers. How many more do I need for Reed? Look at this, look at this. I need like 18 more Reed tiles and then I'm done farming Reed. All I have to do is spend the money to actually start him up. Right now, however, I am hoarding my cash in anticipation of a Moneybags timed quest that was not scheduled that is probably going to come out. Maybe characters can gain a buff that is like Darwin's, which is a guaranteed crit. Yeah, so that is actually one pretty decent way to solve the problem of the dodge mechanic, to make it so that characters also have a guaranteed hit buff. That like it doesn't matter what you have, there is a 100% chance they will hit you, more than just accuracy up, right? Other than clumsy dodgy, I think the dodge accuracy mechanic should only come into play when someone has dodge up and down and accuracy up and down. Yeah, so like your basic dodge chance is actually 0% unless you have the dodge up buff, in which case you then get a 15% chance to dodge or a 20% chance to dodge or whatever. That could also be a decent way to do it, Theo. I unlocked Lee the other day. I think you said she is terrible. Extreme. I'm sorry, bro. Yes, I did say that she is terrible. Now, I'm assuming that what you mean by I unlocked her the other day is I was just playing through the Imperial event like I normally do and finally got enough tiles to unlock her. So it's not like you spent currency to or like spent gems or money or something to unlock her. In which case, like, yeah, dude, she's not very good. She has the potential, like the idea behind her, I think is stellar, but the actual application of that idea is very, very poor. Struggling to stay on top in the arena lately. And also GKM with all of these arena timed quests that require you not to just participate in a battle, but to win a battle. The people, and I know it's, you know, it's kind of like the rich complaining about being rich, but there is some truth to it, that it is very, very hard to win battles if you're in like the top 10, because the teams up there get so solid that you're ending up just relying completely on RNG for whether or not you win or lose a battle. And despite the fact that these people are spending a lot of money in the game, and we all have opinions about that, whatever they are, positive or negative, it still is unfair that there are quests available that they just can't do, even though they're spending more, even though they're already ahead of us. That's where I should take this. Even though they are already ahead of us in the arena, it's still unfair to offer up rewards that they can't get. You know what I mean? City can handle ninjas, that's right, because of Primo's ability to remove stealth, that's true. Don't use Primo, but the amount of healing from the Ice Glider makes up for the massive damage. That's also true, that's the other way around it. It's just basically to keep bringing people back to life with Explorer Aurora over and over and over again. Yeah, it should be like Pokemon did dodge right. GKM, fill me in, I'm not familiar with how Pokemon did it. There could also be attacks that hit less but are stronger. Mike got a 6-star Gisto and only 13 tiles away from 5-star Gisto's tower. Dude, that's solid. Good for you, man. Until you get hit with one sand attack and become basically blind. You have a lot of gear 7s. That is correct. Have I been spending master currency? Uh, yes, but not in order to get to Gear 7, actually. Gear 7, I've actually just been farming using my extra energy. My currency, hold on a second. I need to start a battle here in order to see if I can get in there. I want to... Okay, I'm going to actually showcase against Manic Gym Warrior. And maybe I should finally showcase this team. Look at this. All gear level 7 with the Ice Station Odyssey. Now, the damage on this team is much lower than when you're using Pirates with Forbidden Island and Redbeard on your team. So you have to be pretty careful about where you choose to use different abilities. Now, this team is already going to run into this problem where we're going to get a Magisto taunt out, but there's only one taunt on the team. So in this case, Magisto is actually going to be the biggest struggle for us. So we are going to focus on him. We want to make sure that we can protect the rest of our team. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the taunt thing-ish, right? Do Lloyd's effective taunt. Everybody else goes into stealth. Now, as long as Lloyd can survive long enough for me to get this buff off, we are golden. And I'll show you exactly why. Because now he's below 50% health, and now he's going to get damage immunity instead. We're also going to take this opportunity to heal him up twice, so now he has almost a full health bar and damage immunity at the same time. Massively huge. Unfortunately, we were not fast enough before Jester Go-Go gets his taunt off. This is unfortunate, but we can remove Jester Go-Go's taunt and then keep hammering away at Magisto. Magisto did just lose all of his stacks. Now in this case, it's more important to me to remove this taunt than it is for me to lock people out of using their special abilities. I want to come in here and just absolutely punish Magisto as fast as I can. He is luckily fast enough that my woo is fast enough that I will still be able to get this ultimate off before Pegleg or the Highwayman get a chance to use their ultimates. I do unfortunately need to save my AoE ability because I really don't want Jester Go-Go healing anybody up. So, Magisto is gone. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use the AoE to get some damage out. I'm going to put my defense down now. I'm going to go ahead and put that on Zany Boy. Although I probably should have put it on Lloyd. I wasn't paying close enough attention. If I had put it on Lloyd, then I would have been able to actually get him to have damage immunity again. So let's see where Pegleg's treasure... Oh, Walk the Plank is going on Master Wu. Master Wu gets hit. Boo earns. I'm going to go ahead and give everybody this defense up. Now, Jester Go-Go is relatively low. I do have to be careful about the amount of time left in this board because we are getting to 2 minutes left. Luckily, all the taunting and healing on this team is completely gone. So, we are going to be able... Oh, come on. You're not going to pull in a buddy? That's the whole point of using that ability, my man. Well, actually, the main point of using that ability is to remove buffs. But now, here we go. We are over the hump as far as damage and taunting is concerned. I still have all 5 of my characters. You may argue, and you might actually be kind of right, that I got a little bit lucky here that the Highwayman didn't actually focus fire any of my characters. But at the same time, I did also have characters in that have higher defense, this ninja team in general. Now, I have a minute and a half left, and all I have to do is kill one Highwayman. Good night! I have a feeling this team actually might be a little bit easy to defeat on defense until I have Zane and Lloyd all the way leveled up. Also, my Ice Station set has the ability for my specials from the Ice Planet heroes to actually remove people from stealth. So if I can add more Ice Planet heroes, that would be excellent. Like, for example, the Yeti! Oh! Okay, we got premium bag. Let us open premium bag and see what we get today. Come on, premium bag. Show me the goods. Okay. What? 25 Lloyd tiles. Yes! A major massive pull. Oh, you bring Lloyd tile into my house. I don't know what that voice was. It wasn't really an impression of anything. It was just bad. Arena. Yes. Yes. Getting Lloyd closer to 6 stars, going to be huge. Now, there was a question before about me having all of these gear level 7s. Have I been spending master currency? The answer is yes, but not in the way that you think. I have been spending master currency on tier 3 set tools. Now I've actually stopped spending that energy because I'm sitting on 76 of these and I don't know how many I actually need. Once I get Ice Station Odyssey up to 5 stars, I know I'm going to need a couple more of them for my second ability, but I don't know if I need them for the 3rd and 4th abilities. I know I'm going to need those tier 4 set building materials, but other than that, I'm not entirely sure. When it comes to the Fancy Apple 3, Fancy Fish 3, and Fancy Binoculars 3, I have never spent master currency on them. I spend my energy actually farming those, and then I pay for energy refreshes. This has the added bonus of also giving you the other things that you can get from farming all of those nodes. So you guys have seen that I do 2 energy refreshes per day, and so far I have only these 5 characters, I think, that are at gear level 7. Yeah? Yeah. And the next place where I'm spending all of my extra energy when I have it is actually on Spaceman Reed. I'm going to do some trading out to see if Spaceman Reed actually functions in this team better than Zane does, and then make some other adjustments to see where we go. So for example, I've got this Ice Ninja team going right now that I've just shown you guys. But there's also a world in which I switch this out for a space team with the Ice Station Odyssey, because the space characters will get a 20% speed buff for being part of the Ice Station Odyssey set. So that team would probably look like Dr. Kelvin, Commander Cold, Spaceman Reed, and then Locust, and then I would need a healer. Ideally, I'd have Gorwell. Unfortunately, Gorwell is not farmable. So, for the moment, I'm considering leaving Master Wu on that team for his incredible utility, even though there will not be any ninjas left on that team. Plus, he's super duper fast. There's also a world in which I put Magisto on that team to use his heal plus his counter ability to put that on Locust while I'm shedding out damage everywhere else. And then of course there's all the rest of the healers in the game. Putting, for example, swapping out Master Wu for what is her name? Explorer Aurora, which you can see like Explorer Aurora I've got like on the fence here. She can then res, and she's got a big single target heal. That might be a better way to go. So now that I have this team up and running and it's functioning pretty well, I'm already looking forward to the future changes that I can make and the new things that I can run. But yes, GKM, you're right. When you use City, it does work very well against the ninjas, but then you get sniped. That is undoubtedly true. Okay, I'm gonna come in here and start the Brickspedition. Probably do at least 1 or 2 of these boards while I'm waiting for my arena to reset. We have a limited number of guild allies today, so I will not be using guild allies until we get to the second half of the Brickspedition board. Matt, how are the Ice Ninjas coming along? I'm interested, as I may farm the Yeti. Mike, I think you must have posted that before I just showed in the arena, because there you go. Wow, look at this arena team. They're just straight up starting me out with it. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay, so I know that I'm gonna get 2 more attacks. Oh wait, so here's a shot. All right, this is gonna be a risk, but let's see how it works. If I do this, okay, I get the second attack in there. Great. Now I know I'm gonna get this, and Oh, Redbeard goes down despite Scarlet's taunt. Brilliant. I accept all of this. Wow, look at all of that damage being done to Commander Cold. We're going to throw up the defense here, and then I'm going to use Kelvin to remove some of these debuffs on him. I will then also use Master Wu for a little heal action a little bit early in the game. And then we're going to come in here and start tackling down. Let's see. Actually, I think I'm going to spread out. Yeah, there we go. We knew that the hiker was going to get his heal off, so we needed to come in and make sure that we were just starting to be doing actual useful damage here. Let's go ahead and lock everybody out from doing all of their stuff. Put some vulnerable on Scarlet. That'll help us take her down. I'm going to go ahead and stealth everybody else so that I can start focusing fire on Lloyd. It'll make it easier for me to heal up later. We'll go ahead and take Scarlet down, and then we will keep on just moving it around. There are another, 2 turns for Master Wu before he can heal everybody again. I think we'll be in pretty good shape at that point. Hopefully I will get another opportunity to actually clear. Yes, so 1 more turn for Kelvin and I can clear those time bombs off of Lloyd. That's excellent news. 1 more turn. Oh, brilliant. We got the assist from Zane. 1 more turn and I will be able to heal up with Master Wu. So let's go ahead and throw the defense on everybody. I'm going to remove these debuffs from Lloyd. Now, toss out Wu's heal, and now we just need to do as much damage as we possibly can, as fast as we can do it, to take down the hiker. Oh, bad news, hiker. Choosing to use your heal, a fatal mistake. Everyone on my team is going to get to go before you, which means I get to end this battle with completely full health and move right along. I think now I can go right back into the arena and get the next battle that I need to do. If I can do it this time and get a win, then I'll be able to completely finish that arena timed quest before it ends. That would be exciting for me. I believe, sir. There's one other Ice Planet minifigure they could put in the game. What's the one other Ice Planet minifigure they could put in the game? Okay, so now I just need to pick whichever team gives me the highest chance of winning. These multiple taunts are always a problem for everyone, especially with my lower damage. Here's only a single taunt. Oh, but look at this, 49, Majestic Village Warrior. Yeah, I think it's gonna be this one actually. So here is actually something different. Despite the fact that I do have the ability to remove taunts, I'm actually not going to, because Jester Gogo is going to be taunting right from the beginning. I'm actually just going to be punishing him down as fast as I possibly can. Because even if I were to remove his taunt, well, Burnibus is going to have a taunt anyway. Savvy? So, instead, we're just going to be focusing on dealing the extra damage to him. Obviously, we well know that his defense, Jester Gogo's defense, is pretty bad, so it actually doesn't matter when he has defense up, unlike Burnibus, whose defense is pretty solid. I'm gonna go ahead and put some damage reduction on Lloydy Boy, who just went below the 50% threshold and now has damage immunity. Oh my god, that is so the way to go. It's absolutely crazy how that works. Now we just have to hope that we can... Alright, so all of the buffs were removed from him, from Burnibus. Boo earns, but it is what it is. We need to get Jester Gogo down, unfortunately, just as fast as we possibly can. I'm going to go ahead and... Ooh, now I need to... Let's see. If I can take Jester Gogo down, they then have the Yuppie behind him who can res, but fine, whatever, we'll just have to deal with that. We get the special coming out from Yuppie on Lloyd, who manages to dodge the whole thing. Hey, I'll take that. Oh no, it didn't do enough damage to kill him. How is that? How did it not do enough damage to kill him? That's bananas. All right, well, let's put that Dizzy back on him. Now we're going to lose everybody's disarmed and then continue to hammer down on Jester Gogo. Did he resist? Did he resist? Boo! All right, fine. Well, Magisto, you've got taunt, and you don't now. Oh my goodness. I think I just got screwed, actually, is what I think just happened. Oh my goodness. All right, now we gotta focus, because this is definitely not going the way we want it to anymore. Because somewhere in there, they gave Jester Gogo, like, the ability to heal that I'm not sure he should have actually gotten. I really don't know what just happened there. I'm gonna have to watch back this footage and see. But that was... pretty sure the word I'm looking for in this case is garbage. Yeah, I'm pretty sure garbage is the word that I'm looking for. Ugh, and now we have the taunt on Barnabas. Oh no, I don't have the time now! Yeah, I have no idea why Zane's double damage just magically, for some reason, suddenly didn't actually kill Jester Gogo. I don't think he had Hardy on him either. Yep, we've lost this one. We've lost, and we just have to hurry up and exit this battle. Very, very frustrating what just happened there. God, I should have remembered how annoying I find the castle teams and not fought that. That's my mistake, and I'm upset about it, but there's not very much I can do. So now I just have to wait. Ugh. So now I think I'm barely going to miss completing this timed quest because I don't think I have the time. There's 8 minutes left, and I have an 8-minute timer. Yeah, so I'm going to miss the rest of these arena battles unless I spend money to refresh it right now, which, given the rewards, it's not that important. Major bummer. Did that one wrong, obviously. So many taunts, and you find, and so like that's the only problem with the ice ninjas is their damage is just too low. I actually really dislike the fact that you can't have low damage teams as like a strategy. That stinks. And it's like part of the reason why you keep seeing so many ninjas and so many pirates. It's like just because of how much damage is required by the game in order for you to be useful. It's just nuts. Magisto is a nuts character, and deservedly so, ends up being in like whenever people do ratings and he's always in the S tier. There's a reason for that, and it's because he is a ridiculously powerful character. Do you think we'll get a character with lifesteal? I'm sure we will at some point, Mike. It's just an obvious mechanic to throw into these kinds of games. We already have some characters that do have lifesteal, like the zombie and Basil. But if you're asking, like, will we ever get a set that like gives everybody lifesteal? Probably at some point. Cowabunga, how to get off the screen before the actual start of the stream? Why, bro? Why you have to be leaving us? Okay, 45 gear level 5. We'll go ahead and do this one. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. That would be a heavy hit on the first turn. That is Super Fang, right? What? I like to see a character with a Hyper Fang ability. It always does half the opponent's HP as damage. Oh, I see what you mean. So if the opponent has 100% of their life, it'll deal 50% damage. And if they have like 10% of their life, it'll deal 5% damage, like that kind of a thing. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting mechanic. I can see them introducing something like that. And then I believe there would always have to be some sort of minimum threshold though, right? Because obviously if that person were like the last person alive, you could run into this problem where if they were always just cutting things in half but never reducing to 0, then that could be an issue. So I think it would be like a base amount of damage at the very least, and then plus 50% of the remaining HP. Or perhaps it would be better if that were actually a special ability on a character. That could actually work out really, really well. If there were a special ability on a character that would just remove 50% of the enemy's health, whatever that was. Basil? Basil does that? Or you mean Basil does the lifesteal thing? I think you mean the lifesteal thing, right? Bam, 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 expedition. Bam, 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 bam. It's a terrible song. Okay, I mean, the real song is a good song. The song I just made up is a terrible song, is what I meant. Bam, bam, bam. Oh. I can't just put on... Alright, come on. Let's switch it out for all of the explorees. You. Come here, the rest of my explorers. Oh, you're already in there, the rest of my explorers. Great. And I will swap out Valiant for my hiker pants. Ooh, actually, no. Now I'm going to keep Valiant in there. Bum, bum, bam, bum, bum, bum. Hiker pants. Smoke on the water. Hiker in your pants. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, goodness gracious me. Okay. Dealing out the damage. Just trying to get past Scarlet's little taunty taunt of doom here. Go ahead and get rid of her. Now, I just need one attack. There's the one attack that I need. I know that Headley Lamar is going to do his little taunty taunt. Smoke on the water. Hiker in your pants. So stupid. Oh, I'm a crazy boy. Alright, Garmadon is out. Psh, done with this Brixpedition node. Mike says, I believe those were the original Smoke on the Water lyrics. Yes. That's... Many people don't know this, actually. But you know it's just chords, right? Bum, bum, bam, bum, bum, bam. Those used to have words. And yeah, despite the fact that it was like the 60s or 70s or whenever, when that song was written, they actually had the foresight to know that Lego Legacy Heroes Unboxed was going to come out. And so originally it was put together a team of little Lego figures, go in and battle other Legos. And they were like, dude, those are the worst lyrics you've ever written. I think it would be, they're so bad that we could probably improve the song by just only playing chords with no lyrics at all. And the rest of the group was like, yeah, that's probably pretty smart. And they were like, and in the meantime, let's probably like try to make the song slightly more like political and relevant, right? Like maybe like we talk about the goings on of the world, but like not directly, you know, like make it a metaphor so that people have to think about it and make it intelligent. And they're like, yeah, that's, now that I think, like now that I hear you saying it, I realize like, yeah, that's a much smarter way to go about it. And they were unequivocally correct. So, you know, just go with it. That is in the official Smoke on the Water documentary. Who is the original? Wait, who is that song by originally? Now, like a legit question. Now I can't remember. As soon as you guys say it, I'm gonna have one of those responses. But yeah. Extreme asks, what did I put in my coffee? Honestly, dude, just chaos and despair. My coffee is just filled with chaos and despair right now. Deep Purple! Yes, thank you. Oh my god, I totally said I was going to have that exact reaction, and then I ended up having that exact reaction. I'm so lame. I probably think that song is about me. I know it's Maine, but I did it anyway. Because this is why you guys are here on the stream, to watch these crazy, crazy connections that my brain just nonsensically makes at every turn. Oh, Magisto was off the targeting block again. Look at this battle. This battle is just all over the board right now. Can I lock people out of using their abilities? Yes, please. Thank you, please, and thank you. Now, I know that Willa, if I don't get to her fast enough, is going to have her crazy ability come out. So, first, let's finish off Magist. now let's get some Willa out of here while she is still locked out of using her abilities, because I really, really, really don't want her to just murder the rest of my team. Oh my goodness, Magisto's tower is so broken. Do you guys see how many times I just had to kill Willa? If you, honestly, if you're not sure what you should be farming right now, and you have the freedom to like move some stuff around, what you should be farming right now is Magisto's tower and all of the magical characters, because they are a pain in the proverbial rumpus, and everybody knows it. They are so hard to defeat with all of those stacks of enchantment. I literally just had to kill Willa over, what was that, 4 times in a row. I hit her to get her down to 0, and then she used a stack of enchantment to get Hardy instead, but she still had enchantment. So I had to hit her again to remove the Hardy, which removed a stack of enchantment and gave her Hardy again. And then I had to hit her again to remove that Hardy, and then I had to hit her again. 5 times I had to hit Willa in order to defeat her. That's broken, right? Like, Magisto's tower needs to be completely retuned a little bit. It's a very cool mechanic that you like get rid of this stack of enchantment to prevent yourself from dying, but getting rid of 1 stack of enchantment to prevent yourself from dying and give you Hardy, which prevents you from dying. Meanwhile, you can get more stacks of enchantment that when removed will give you a stack of Hardy and prevent you from dying. Too much. Too much. Destroys the balance of the game. Sorry, Charlies. Hanson's Mbop works too. Oh, Mike, you just did that because so Mike, you just turned to Kate and you were like, hey, what ridiculous song can I put in the chat? Because we know that he's going to like make up some words about it. And Kate was like, I don't know, you mean like Mbop or something? And he was like, yeah, Mbop. So now you just want me to like sing in a high-pitched voice and make crazy, crazy words. I think you missed the end of the time quest. Yes, Theo, I did. I didn't have the ability to finish it because I only had 8 minutes left on the quest, and I had just completed an arena battle that then put me into an 8-minute timer, so I wouldn't have been able to finish it. Mbop. What would be the LEGO Legacy lyrics to Mbop? Well, nobody actually really knows the lyrics to the beginning of Mbop, which is ironic because, true story, in my a cappella group in college, we actually did Mbop. And there was a short time in my life when I did actually know all of the words to the beginning part of that song. You guys know it. Like all that part. There was a time when I actually legit knew what all of those words were. Because college kids are weird. If you're in college, I assure you, you are strange. This is the time of your life when you are at your very weirdest. Why? Because you're done with high school and you are so excited not to be in high school anymore. And you're off in college on your own and you're making your own bad decisions and having to learn from your own mistakes and having to feel like, oh, this is what life is like, even though that is not what life is like. And anybody who's ever been to college and survived to be an adult on the other side of college will tell you, college is not adulthood, not even close. So that is when you are at your weirdest as a human being. It's when people are waiting for you to develop into the person you're going to ultimately become in someday. But I digress. In my a cappella group in college, we covered Mbop. So there was like a 1-year time of my life when I actually knew the opening lyrics to Mbop. Every rose from bush or briar comes, like, it's strange. But anyway, how would that even go? Dave Monsanto! What's up, dude? The Bronx singer coming in. Dave, if you haven't already, toss me a follow, bro. I'm so close to getting above the threshold that I need to actually get my own, like, permanent YouTube, whatchamacallit? Like YouTube channel that's not like youtube.com/ a bunch of gibberish stuff. There are free Gorewell tiles in the new time quest. Needs a lot of gold and gems to complete though. Whoa, Theo. I'm gonna have to check on this. What, GKM? Falsetto? I got a mean falsetto too. Yeah, GKM. Well, yeah, GKM's in a band, guys. I've said this before, but if you haven't already, go check out his stuff. He's had people actually asking him about some of the songs on his videos, which are actually, well, I don't know how many songs you have on all of your videos, but one in particular, I remember somebody asked you about the other day, and it's like the theme song to your video that is from your actual band. So yeah, guys, go check him out if you haven't done so already. It's pretty cool stuff. Oh, no. What is it? So many relationships in this life, only one or two will last. I think those are the opening lyrics, right? Which is kind of silly when you think about like how old the Hanson brothers were when MMMBop came out. They didn't know anything about relationships. That's a ridiculous song for them to be singing. So many relationships in this life, only one or two will last. And then I sing gibberish real high because the girls like that. Because the girls like that. But I'm out of ideas, so hadn't I had a new idea yet? No, whoa. Like, honestly, that's what I think it is. I have a friend from growing up who was the biggest MMMBop fan you have. She's the greatest MMMBop, or she's the greatest Hanson fan you've never met. To the point where like she would enter sweepstakes. There was one she entered and won a sweepstakes where one day before school, the Hanson brothers actually called her directly to like wake her up for school. She was like 18 at the time, so we all made fun of her extensively. Now that's not to say that, you know, there's anything wrong with liking Hanson. They're very, very nice kids. Not kids anymore, actually. I think at least one of them is older than I am. But nice boys, and they wrote some catchy tunes. And despite the fact that those tunes are not for me, it doesn't change the fact that they are tunes, they are catchy, and they've had more success as artists than I have. So what am I really complaining about here? Fancy GKM collab on Lego Legacy Brick Bop. Oh God, that's perfect. Brick bop, bip bop bop, doo wop, do it up a brick bop, dip top bop boo. I'm trying to figure out which of these two teams I want to fight. Are they the same team, just organized differently? Ugh. This is really, like, this is something that they actually should, seriously for a second here, something that they should really look at in the game. If you have the option to go up or down, but the team is the same, then you don't actually have an option. It doesn't matter, right? Right. So kind of silly that they would present me with that team at all. Because it just make it one node then. You know what I mean? Like completely defeats the purpose. Ugh, whatever. New idea for a team going to Theorycraft will include the zombie. I don't know. Here's a start. All right, Mike, show me what the zombie has in store for you. Gorewell tiles available if you use Ghost in Bricks and the Arena. Honestly, I'm not even going to try to do that because I'll have to look at how many Gorewell tiles the time quest actually gives, but what is it going to give me? Like 3 Gorewell tiles, maybe 5, maybe 10 Gorewell tiles over the course of an entire week of time quests? Like, I don't need 10 Gorewell tiles. I need 400 Gorewell tiles. That, unfortunately, a time quest that gives you Gorewell tiles is, in my opinion, completely worthless right now. Lyrics, sing them to MMMBop. Oh gosh. I do sing many a lyric. I'm a crazy, crazy man. Let's see. What do I actually want to do here? I think I just want to keep dealing damage. Oh, yeah, no brainer. I needed to get that heal off, so there it goes. Now, I'm going to go ahead and... Oop, that was a mistake. Shouldn't have taunted with him, but I did anyway. Let's go ahead and... let's see if he actually survives long enough to get another round off in here. I don't know that he will, because I'm not going to use the heal. Instead, I'm going to use this taunt removal so that I can get in here and... ah, here we go. I'll use his Taunty McTaunterson and then just punish the pants off of their Redbeard to the best of my ability. Do I want to? Yeah, I just want to deal the damage, deal the damage, deal the damage. Let's deal as much damage as I possibly can. I would rather deal more damage, even though I know there's no buffs to remove. And then... oh, come on, man! Get out of here. Thank you. Now we're going to come in here and have to deal with their woo. Since he got his special off on me first, it's going to delay my turn's adventuring. My team's adventuring, I should say. Let's go ahead and come in here and put some defense up. Yeah, there we go. Get my Lloydie boy into stealthy stealth. Grab some great personal heals. Plus my Burnibus, who has 100% damage immunity right now. No, Woo, you can stay frozen. Thank you very much. Now I think I'm actually going to, man, another turn not actually using Magisto's ultimate. I've just needed to use other things more. We need to come in here and wreck down Argenta to the best of our ability. I can grab the taunt on Burnibus. Amazing that I managed to get him to stay alive long enough to actually receive all these buffs. Again, I need to remove some buffs instead of using Magisto's ultimate. I mean, Woo's ultimate. Just craziness. Can we? Let's deal some damage. Thank you. Now we can get Cook Bart out of here. And then, finally, use Woo's ultimate. When we honestly probably don't need to, but we're going to anyway. Get that heal off on Lloyd. Look at this. Our main team back to essentially having completely full health. I think actually they might just have full health. Yes? Yes. Lloyd missing just a little bit. That's all right. We'll deal with it. Deal some extra damage to Senor Fancy Valiant and then take him downzo, downzo, downzo. I don't like having arena time quests back to back. Theo. Arena time quests in particular have come under a lot of scrutiny recently from the community because the time quests, especially the time quests that urge you to use other characters in the arena, you have this trade-off. Because if that character is not part of your core team, then that means you have to weaken your arena team just to complete that time quest. And basically nobody wants to do that. Because the rewards you actually get every day from the arena are better than just advancing down this time quest chain to sample to like complete some arena things. So there are a lot of people who share your opinions here. Win arena battles with Ghost. And then not only that, you have to win the battles. Yeah, not happening. Win Brickspedition with Ghost would get me 2 Gorewell tiles. Yeah. The Path of the Master timed quest, unless you already have Ghost and you're already using him and he's already leveled up, is a garbage time quest. I'm not even going to do any of it, honestly. I'm not even going to try. Arena battles with spooky characters is still going on for the rest of today, and the other 2 have been completed. Jennifer Shaw. What's up, Jennifer? How you doing? Let's come back in here and try out this team that I was showcasing again. This time, let's do it against the Pirates with the double tank. Now, here, we're actually going to use the stealth mechanic that we get off to try to bury down the enemy Scarlet as fast as we can. We do have to be a little careful at the beginning before the characters actually go into stealth, however. So what we're going to do in the meantime is just get all of our defenses ready, right? Anybody who has stealth can attack as per usual, but anybody who doesn't, we're actually going to use their secondary abilities. or target Redbeard. Those are the two options. So now we're going to come in here and actually try and just hammer down Scarlet. Woof, look at how much damage coming out on Lloyd right from the beginning. Wow, bad news bears right there. Should have seen that one coming, but we're doing this to showcase this team and see if there's a world in which it works. That's all there is to it. Let's go ahead and, I guess, put a bit more focus on Redbeard. Oh, look at that, just above 50%. Now, I want to be able to actually keep some focus on Redbeard, so I have to wait and do the Dizzy on him now, which is going to put Scarlet down. I can do the ultimate ability, yes, which will lock everybody out of using their turns, using their special abilities, plus Redbeard now has Dizzy on him, which is excellent news. That means he will take double damage from this attack and still be dizzy. So, as soon as Scarlet's turn is over, and now I don't need to heal anybody, now we should be able to take out Redbeard, unless he dodges and then gets healed. Get out of my house, Dodge. You're a terrible mechanic. Everybody hates you. You should die. All right, we'll go ahead and put defense up on everybody else here. Now I do need to use the heal, but now I also just need to destroy Redbeard, who now, because of dodge, has been able to get off his ultimate ability. And for no other reason. Only that one dodge allowed him to do that. Absolute garbage, absolute ridiculousness. I should have probably just put that on Kelvin directly, to be completely honest with you, but I didn't. So now, here we are. Now I'm going to go ahead and use Wu's heal. I keep calling him Magisto, I think. And I am not going to worry about Valiant. I'm basically going to go into this waiting pattern, even though I only have 2 minutes left here, until I can do exactly this. Brilliant. Ugh, the time bombs come out. Look at this. That single dodge, that one extra turn, having to focus on Redbeard instead of being able to go to the rest of their characters, lost me this entire match. One dodge on one character lost me the entire match. That is what happened. Absolutely infuriating. And we can see that this team just, right now, simply doesn't perform at the level that I want it to. Ugh, I'm so sad about it. It has such great promise. It might be a little better once I've been able to upgrade the Ice Station Odyssey all the way, but for the time being, I'm gonna go back to using my pirates in the arena because, you know, boring. That's why. What is this? You have unclaimed rewards at the end of an event. We didn't want you to lose them? They just gave me all of the awards from the rest of the arena timed quest event that I know I didn't complete. And you guys also know that I didn't complete it because you watched me not complete it. Interesting. I mean, I'll take it if they're gonna give it to me, but wow. Besides the dodge mechanic, what other mechanic do you want to see changed or removed from the game? Honestly, Extreme, I don't have more than that I want to see removed right now because that one is such a huge impediment, in my opinion, to the health and success of the game that it's hard to actually figure out if there is another mechanic that, in my opinion, needs to go as much as that one does. So until that one is altered, changed, removed entirely, I don't know if I'm going to be able to have an opinion about some other mechanic that should be altered or changed. But yeah, the dodge mechanic in particular is, to me, the dodge mechanic just is, it gets so in the way that it's hard for me to actually consider that anything else needs to get changed right now. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put Dizzy on Redbeard. And then I know that Lloyd is going to be putting everybody into stealth, which is going to be a major, major bummer. Now, they don't have anyone who can make everyone dizzy, which is good for my Yeti, because my Yeti needs to come in here with a taunt. and hopefully get at least one crit off so that he gets that payback. Nice. Now, he's below 50%. No! He's dead already. One moment away from Kelvin being able to decrease the damage that he receives, and he's gonzo like the dinosaurs. Just wrecking my soul right now. This Ice Ninja team, which has so much theoretical promise, just proving once again that no matter how badly you want to think you've come up with a good team, Lego will just tell you whether or not you're right. And in this case, I am very, very wrong. And the ultimate team is probably a combination of spooky characters and whatnot, where you can literally just like read how overpowered the mechanics are, and without even having to use your brain, just like know that you're right. I don't know. That actually really annoys me. I wish it were possible for people to actually theory craft really, really good teams by like mixing and matching mechanics, but there really are just some stat blocks and some mechanics that are so much better than others that it just really does prevent you from being able to do that. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. This Ice Ninja team just doesn't do enough damage, and unfortunately, damage is such an incredibly important part of things that, like, you just saw, for example, that Redbeard on their team just like single-handedly demolished my entire team. Ugh, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. I wish it were possible for us to actually really, truly, and honestly theory craft useful teams that didn't look exactly like the one that you have sitting in front of you, with the exception that some people put Hank in instead of Darwin. But unfortunately, the game is heavily weighted toward, the game is heavily weighted toward nuking or healing. If you can do those two things, you can win. If you can do a consistent stream of steady damage, then you'll lose, because steady damage is meaningless in this game. Man, feeling the frustrations today, aren't we, Matt? For sure, guys. We're gonna go ahead and put out a heal here. I have a useless turn coming up with Redbeard thanks to the Clumsy, so I'll use that to remove all of these debuffs instead. Now, I'm not going to use her second ability because Scarlet's taunt is about to disappear anyway. So instead, we're going to do this. We're gonna come right back over here. Now, unfortunately, now that Scarlet is out of stealth and everybody else is still in stealth, we have to taunt. We have to use her first. Okay. So, Darwin is getting low, so I'm going to attack Lloyd instead. Now, let's see if I can just get her cleared out with a bonus attack. Ugh. So close. And yet so far. Now Scarlet is going to use her heal, which would give her taunt for 2 turns, which means I do actually have to use my removal so that despite her healing, and now Wu's healing, oh my goodness, this team is obnoxious. So obnoxious. Just die already, guys. And this is, guys, I'm using a pirate team here. This is among the highest damage dealing teams in the game. It's like, no wonder my Ice Ninja team couldn't hold it. This team can't even do enough damage to take this other team down, and their only job is to deal damage. This is ridiculous. So now... And now I just basically have to get lucky for like 9,000 turns in a row. I don't like the RNG in this game. The RNG is way too powerful. It has way too much control over the game at large. There's so little skill involved in this. Losing characters left, right, and center. I've managed to take out 0 of the characters on their team, and they have basically just demolished my entire team. Get out of here! Oh my god, this is terrible. Jeez. Here, fine. You want a good arena team? Look at the one I'm currently battling against. Level 60, gear level 7, top node and bottom node, exactly the same thing. I'm losing my mind here. This is absolutely abysmal. Magisto's Tower is going to be the new hotness. I'm going hard for Vankman and Ghostbusters, I think. Yeah, GKM, that's really what you should do, honestly. Or maybe Egon. I get it's an RNG game, but that would mean a 50-50 win weight. But to tip the scales in the favor of the AI, dodge is overused. I mean, you know my feelings on dodge, so I don't even really need to say anything. For this team, you have to go after Lloyd first so that you don't get Redbeard counters. Yeah, Douglas, that's what I'm trying to do. The problem is when you get Lloyd below 50%, then Scarlet taunts, and you get her counter, and you get counters from Redbeard instead because Lloyd is able to put stealth on the rest of the team early on, which means that you can't put Dizzy on Redbeard at all. So you don't have a choice here, right? So like, I was forced to attack Lloyd, and now I'm forced to attack Scarlet without being able to put Dizzy on Redbeard. It's an incredibly powerful team, but it's just ridiculously frustrating, is really what I'm getting at. Really? You're just gonna take out my cook bar, like right from the beginning, huh? That's where we're going with this? Get out of here, Scarlet. You're stupid and you're terrible, and I'm glad that you're dead. Now I attack Lloyd again because everyone on their team still has stealth. But see, now look at the difference. Look at the difference. The only difference now is that I'm using a Highwayman instead of a Buddy Scarlet, and just immediately get to come back in here and actually be like useful for a turn. Lloyd, what is it? Wu, just completely unapproachable until this. Now, if I'm being completely honest, the truth is this is just a good team that is just really, really frustrating to play against because it's a really, really well-built team. And that's all there is to it. Honestly, if I were to give it like a real legit criticism that was beyond just my personal frustrations with how hard it is to fight this team, it would be that up until this point of the Brickspedition campaign, everything was fine. You know what I mean? And then in one node, the power level, in one node, the difficulty jumped so many levels that not only did I have to use another team, but actually started losing characters and had to do it 3 or 4 times before I could actually get through it in any reasonable manner. The first person that I lost in a well-balanced Brickspedition like this should have been on like board 3. And then the second person or team or whatever that I lost should have come somewhere at like board 6 or 7. It should get progressively harder so that you're not like, okay, I'll do 8 nodes with one team, and then one node is presented to me where all of a sudden my team starts to get wrecked. That's bad. And then coming in here, facing off against 10 minifigures that are all higher level than the ones I was just fighting against. And yet, all 10 of them together are less dangerous than the 5 that I encountered at a lower level on the previous node. I mean, if that's not just evidence that you've got some serious balancing issues on your hand, then I don't know what to tell you. But that's crazy. For this team, you have to go right. Yeah, so Douglas, that was what was going on there. But now we're at the end of things. And I could probably just auto-battle this, to be completely honest. Like, that is how big of a difference it makes having a good team versus a bad team in this game. The difference in usefulness between a good character And a bad character in this game is way too big. And that's why they're finding that there are, you know, emerging metas in the arena. Because if you want to actually produce results in this game, you can't play the characters that you want to play. You have to play the characters that you have to play. Now they're starting very slowly to fix that, right? Whenever they go in and sort of retool a team and make it more powerful, make it more useful, they do a decent job. But we know that they have a lot of work to do because they have actually commented on the fact that the ninjas are still the litmus test for whether or not a team is any good. Which means that the ninjas, which were one of the first teams to get reworked, I think they were the first team to get reworked, gained so much power when they were reworked that even an entire year later, they are still the benchmark. That's crazy. We haven't been able to go anywhere since then. I mean, it's nuts. The end of the Brickspedition, board 7, we all know it. The ninjas are crazy. So, part of the frustration that I have with the game is actually frustration I just bring upon myself, because I'm not interested in metas, I am interested in theory crafting. I like to figure out if it's possible to actually find a team that can take down a meta. Now, in a game that has millions of people all around the world, it's unlikely that you can actually do that, because the millions of people obviously have millions of brains compared to your one. So their millions of days worth of effort and farming and all this kind of stuff are always going to outweigh the amount of thought that a single person can put into any one of these things. But that's what I like to be able to do in the game. Unfortunately, this game just really doesn't let you do that. If you want to perform at a high level, you just have to use what everybody else shows you that you have to use. And you don't even have to think that hard. In fact, the less you think in this game, the better the team is going to be that you have the ability to put together. If you just look at all of the characters' basic stats and just put together an entire team made up of the fastest characters that hit the hardest, you're gonna do fine. The fastest characters that hit the hardest, combined with any character that has the ability to put taunt out very, very fast, or put everybody else in the team into stealth, like Lloyd, which is what you saw from the team that came before this. You put Lloyd and Scarlet together on a team with a character that just does nothing but counter incessantly, and then you just hit the auto battle button and watch yourself win everything. It's crazy. I wish I got to use my brain more, but I don't. So I make up reasons to use my brain more. I call it theory crafting. But what I'm really doing is just... What I'm really doing is just apparently exercises in frustration. I'm gonna try this on behalf of you guys and see if it works. It never works. The city team, to showcase to you how the fire station works, like, we read those mechanics and went, they sound good, but we know they won't be. And then I just, for months, ended up farming a team that proved exactly that. And now I'm doing the same thing with the Ice Ninjas. You'd think I would have learned my lesson, but if I didn't learn my lesson, then why would you tune in and watch? Tune in to watch a guy use the exact same teams that you see every single day, do the same things you see every day. That's boring. Llama, salty Matt this morning. Woo! Yeah, I wasn't for the first half. You missed when I was singing Umbop with different lyrics, actually. Also, what's up, Llama? How are you doing? Mike, the Bucks are so overpowered, the ninjas were buffed to compete with them, but they're now so overpowered that no amount of theory crafting can counter it. Yeah, I wish they would actually sort of normalize the character's stats a little bit more. And I don't mean give all the characters the same stats, but remove the distance between the top and bottom, right? So tanks that have twice as much health as the people at the bottom it seems to make sense because tanks should have more health, but then it makes the characters at the bottom too squishy, especially when you compare that against the highest level attackers, which have, in some cases, 3 times as high of an attack value as the people with the lowest attack value. And in this game, they have actually fixed. This game actually does a decent job of continuing to allow healers to be relevant in the arena. Or some other games like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, I don't know what it's like now, but when I was playing it, there was, at the very beginning of the game, one particular healer that everybody used because it was really, really great. And then they introduced characters that did so much damage that they outpaced the healing in the game, and they made the healing in the game irrelevant. So then there were no healers in the arena. And it stayed that way for like 2 straight years. Again, I don't know what it's like now, but it stayed that way for like 2 straight years. And it was problematic because you're like, healing is a major mechanic in the game, and it should be able to balance some of these things out. But there should be some team that is a nuke team that works. And there should be some team that is a defense team that works. And there should be a team that's in the middle of those that also works. And right now, that second team just doesn't exist. Either your team does incredible offense or your team does incredible defense, or your team does incredible both of them. But there are 0 teams that are in the middle. And obviously a team that does incredible defense and incredible offense is kind of a no-brainer. And if you can put that together, then great. But also, if you can put that together using 5 characters and only 5 characters in a game that has 100 characters in it, your balance is off and you need to revisit. Tomorrow, what are we doing? All heroes gain 1 stack of prepared, all heroes gain 15% attack, and all heroes gain critical chance up. All of these things are worthless to me on day 7. The only thing that matters on day 7 is buff immunity against the board 7 ninjas, and none of my teams have it. I'm going to go back into the arena here and see if it is possible for me to actually win another arena battle, and I'm going to stop using this team that currently doesn't work and use this team instead, with Darwin swapped out for my Kelvinator, because I love her pip manipulation and her ability to give damage reduction to people. Mike, if we could vote on a full team on abilities that can counter all but not be overpowered. I'm not sure what you actually mean by that, Mike. I think I know what you mean by that, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so Redbeard is the only... Oh, and here's another one. Being able to create a team that centers entirely... Being able to create a 5-person team that centers around 1 person on the team doing all of the damage on the team, that's also kind of bananas, don't you think? So there are a lot of teams that basically have healers, tanks, and Redbeard, and that's it. And it's like, if you can get to Redbeard, then you can just plain win the match. The biggest problem is actually that you just can't get to Redbeard at all. Wow, that did a lot more damage than I expected it to, removing that taunt from Cook Bart. And now, what looks like an easy win is itself turning into a loss very quickly because of only the Redbeard on their team. How ridiculous is all of this? This is the biggest problem in these games with the notion of power creep. And it's something that everybody, it gets talked about a lot. But when you increase the relative power level of one character, and then you refuse to actually decrease the power levels of characters that you make too strong, you run into this problem that everybody knows of called power creep. And it's because for a time you make a character very strong and people put their time and energy and sometimes money into farming that character. And then for the health of your revenue stream, basically, you actually let the game go. So, Redbeard, by virtue of the fact that the top, say, if you were to take a cross section of the top 100 arena teams, right? Top 100 arena teams, 5 characters each. That's 500 characters. And then tally how many of those 500 characters are different. Out of a potential 500 characters, you'd have a total of 15 that are actually being used. And you can tally all of them up, and whichever ones are at the top, those characters are overpowered. Like, it's not rocket science. And what you should actually do for the health of a really solid game is at the very beginning of the game, when the game is first launched and fresh and people are still learning what it is, you need to showcase that the characters that are not being used will be buffed and the characters that are being used too much will be nerfed. And in doing so, right at the beginning, you can set this precedent that you can then hold to for the rest of the game's life. And people can invest money and all these other kinds of things, and you might have to give them opportunities to invest money that are not directly related to characters they want that you are then making weaker. But at the same time, if you want your game to last, if you want your thought process to last, that's what you have to do, especially if you're going to give people the option of having hundreds of characters to choose from. Because that means that at a certain point, they might get really excited about a character that's not in the meta. And then they can't use that character, which makes them unexcited about the game, which makes them leave the game. At least that's where my brain goes with all that stuff. So anyway, I would love to see a rebalancing of many characters and many different sets. If you are seeing that a character, even if it's a character that I'm currently using, like Redbeard and all the rest of the pirates, I think Redbeard should be nerfed. I think the fact that he's in so many arena teams is proof positive that he is so powerful that he just overshadows all of these other characters. So the combination of Redbeard and the Forbidden Island should probably be nerfed. Nobody's really using the Raft Raiders set anymore, right? But not nobody, just very few people. The fact that Master Wu is in so many teams, and Master Wu is a character that I use all the way up as high as he can get to at gear level 7. Master Wu should probably be nerfed. Scarlet should probably be nerfed because they are in so many teams that function at such a high level that it's just clear that they are better than the rest of these characters. Nobody's using Iggy. Iggy should get buffed. Nobody's using Poppy. Poppy should get buffed. Like, it's not rocket science. You just have to be willing to do it for the health of your game. And what that means is, financially, you might have to be willing to take a hit for a second. But losing $1,000 today to make $1,000 every month, I would consider to be a good idea. Maybe that's just me being sort of like utopian in my thinking, but that's where I get with all that kind of stuff. Nobody even asked me that question. I just went off on it. Llama, it's still that way. The closest the Star Wars Galaxy Heroes meta has gotten to a healer are revivers. Yeah, so Llama, that brings up a good point, right? If you lose the ability to heal in favor of the ability to bring somebody back to life, then it means the damage output is too high. Being able to revive somebody is the new form of healing. It means the damage is too high. That's it. It's not rocket science. It's right there in front of you. You just have to be willing to actually accept it. What's up, Captain Flameheart? How you doing? Allow us to vote on a team one at a time that will build to counter all but still be balanced. Mike, are you talking about like if they put that vote out to the John Q public kind of thing? Redbeard and Forbidden Island is outdated now. Is it though? Leaderboards, if I go to the top of the leaderboards. So this is the thing, this is the other thing that I get to about it though. I look at some of these teams and I go, well, which of these are free to play teams, right? Because whales are always going to be in a league of their own because they can pay for and do pay for anything. So now you have, for example, team number 3. Here's a good example of what is technically a free to play team, right? Mighty Latitude Champion with Magisto's Tower and all of these, and this combination of heroes. And look at this. That's a pretty solid one. Galactic Club Thug. All right. This is 4-star Garmadon. How did you get 4-star Garmadon? That's my question, Galactic Club Thug. But this is actually a relatively free-to-play team, sitting up here at number 4. Here's our first Redbeard Forbidden Island team, standard team at position number 5. And now we're getting into a bunch of Magisto's Tower. People with Magisto and Wu. Here's a Magisto, Wu, and Vankman team, right? But now, actually, here's a new one. Now, look at all the dojos. Look at how many dojos. There's not a single Digi-J set. And then, here you go. You say Forbidden Island with Redbeard is outdated now, like maybe in the top 10. But look at this. 27 through... Oh my god, it keeps going. On my arena shard, 27 through 40, every single one of them in a row is Captain Redbeard Forbidden Island. Then 41 is something different, and we're right back to 42 through 46, all Captain Redbeard Forbidden Island sets. Like, it might seem outdated if you're at the top of the meta, if you're wailing out, but it's still there. And then, even then, that dojo, right? Coming in and showcasing itself as the second most common one. But we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's 17 total sets in the game, and in the top 50 spots of the arena, I saw 3 being used. It's time to rebalance. Let's say, for instance, here's 3 things that we can do with Blacktron Dwayne. Vote on what would like him to do, but none of the choices make him overpowered. Like 1, allow him to remove stealth, but it costs him 30 HP. 2, allow him to heal all explorers, but damage bucks on your team. 3, remove set buffs. Oh, Mike, I see what you're getting at. And so they put it like to the general public, how they should change the characters. Yeah, there is definitely a world in which that could work. I think ultimately that would actually slow down the process, because when you ask too many people their individual opinions, you are going to get a never-ending stream of response, and you're never going to be able to actually make a decision. So I think it's actually good that they maintain the power to make those decisions and do all that rebalancing. I think they just have to actually exercise that power more. You're wrong though, Matt. Scarlet and Redbeard are not used as much in the top of the arena now. GKM, I don't know what you consider to be the top of the arena, but that's like going through my arena shard. The top 50 is still, with the exception of like the top 10, the top 50 is still, the vast majority of them are still Redbeard and Forbidden Island. But I mean, I just scrolled through it, so. I'm doing fine. Work is done. Almost the weekend. Hope you're fine too. Doing all right, Captain. Thank you. Your shard is probably behind a little on the ninja meta. My shard is dominated by ninjas. Oh, all right. Well, that's fine. You know, if it's not the Forbidden Island, that's fine. But the fact that... Oh, yeah. So GKM, there you go. Right. So ninjas and Forbidden Island, right? Like, that's all that you see. There's 16... What did I say? 19 sets in the game, and we saw 3 of them in the top 50. Garmadon, pretty close, Captain. Well, nice. Can't ever beat the board 7 ninjas. Yeah, the ninjas are... But then here's the one thing, right, about each team. So ninjas, for example, if you put somebody on your team that can counter the ninjas, then you can beat them, right? So, like, you take a Sig team, which gets absolutely pummeled on defense by literally every team in the game, including the ninjas, because on defense, the AI is not particularly great. And then the ninjas, which just crash over everybody except the highest whale level teams when you're battling against them. And then you take a city team with Primo on it, and then Primo just like single-handedly allows you to defeat all of the ninja teams. That's a balancing issue, right? Like, it's crazy. And there should be multiple ways to defeat multiple teams. That has to be under consideration. And if the only way to defeat the ninjas is to remove the stealth mechanic, then there's a problem with the stealth mechanic, right? Or the stealth mechanic is in too much abundance, or they rely on it too hard. If there's just one mechanic that you have to counter in order to defeat an entire team, it's a problem, right? So it's like, as soon as there are more characters that have the ability to place buff immunity on people, Scarlet is going to be trash. The only thing that Scarlet is good for is her auto taunt. But the problem is that auto taunt is so good that she's everywhere. But as soon as there are more characters that can put buff ability out reliably, you will not see Scarlet ever again on any team because no one will need her. Because you can't assign the taunt to her, she just automatically does it. And if she has buff immunity, she can't do it at all. It's like the same reason why board number 7, if you get the bonus, the board 7 excavation bonus that puts buff immunity on teams, then you just rip through board 7 like every character in there was gear level 4, level 30. And that's a problem, right? Like one buff change allows you to just rip through the whole game. I don't know, I'm like going off on crazy tangents today, but there's a lot of rebalancing that needs to happen in the game. First and foremost, I think they need to get the raids out. The game is still fun to play. I still enjoy it. But I think after they get the raids out, they need to have like some serious powwows where they all like sit around in a circle and they're like, all right, what are we really doing here? What are we really doing here? Let's make it very, like, let's fix this. I suppose I was getting at the same thing, Matt. They should exercise the ability to balance the game properly. City rework, no how. How about a whole game balance? Is this game Lego Pirates or Ninjas? Is it called Lego Pirates or Ninja Heroes Unboxed? Yeah, I mean, the truth is I'm complaining about all this. It is actually very, very hard to do what I am talking about. And the unfortunate truth is that in order to do it properly, you actually have to be able to put stats up and stats down. And these games are very unwilling to turn stats down to help balance the game. They only make stats go up. And I think until they actually have a willingness to make the stats go down from time to time, despite the fact that that might anger people, at least for like a minute, they're not going to be able to ever have a truly balanced game. Instead, every time they introduce a new team into the game, it's going to have to be a little bit more powerful than the team before it. And that's how power creep goes. All right, guys, it is way later than it should be for me to keep going at this. I woke up a little early so that I could get some work done before we actually started the stream, but now I must let y'all go. I will be back on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. as per usual. Until then, if you have any questions, comments, things you'd like to see me tackle specifically, hit me up on Discord. Send me a message and I'll see what I can do. In the meantime, let's look forward to the answers to those questions from our new community managers coming out tomorrow. I will be making a video about those, so be on the lookout for those. GKM also making a video on those, so be on the lookout for his video as well. Compare, contrast, let's see how we feel about this stuff. Later, alligators.